In this video, I'm going to be introducing the Ninja Scrub Brush from Autofiber and see if this particular interior scrub brush can replace my cheap, non-abrasive scrub pad that I've been using for the last decade. What's going on, guys? Luke here with Wilson Auto Detailing. Now let me jump straight into this new product, the Ninja Scrub Brush. It might not be new to you, and it's not new to me, but it is new to the channel. And so I want to break down exactly what it looks like. On one side, you have the microfiber pad part of this interior scrub brush, which is just like your classic microfiber towel, and it's got an interior kind of spongy interface. On the other side, you have these nylon bristles that are actually extremely soft, extremely malleable, and when you run your finger over them, you can see they sort of stand up on their own. They're not that hard to kind of compress down, but they are also extremely soft. And so this could be kind of the intersection between super soft, super safe, but also pretty effective in terms of its cleaning power. Now, putting that next to the non-abrasive scrub pad, this is nothing more than a simple kitchen utensil that is basically designed to scrub like ceramic coated pans and pots and not scratch it. So it's a hard surface, but it doesn't scratch plastics and interior leathers and things like that. Now, the three areas that I'm testing this Ninja Scrub Brush on and the before video that you're seeing right here is number one of the passenger side leather seat. And the reason why I want to start with a leather seat is because leather is one of the easiest things and one of the first things to get really, really dirty. It's also one of the more difficult things in some ways to clean on the interior because you have to be very careful and yet very effective. The second area is the passenger side door panel, and it's the entire door. You can see this door panel is made up of all sorts of different types of materials. Some is plastic chrome, some is just straight up black hard plastic, some is leather on the door handle, so lots of different materials, and it's very dirty. The final area is the steering wheel, and the reason I'm showing a before of the steering wheel, and particularly the leather, is because shiny leather, which leather is also on the steering wheel, is dirty leather. So when you have shiny steering wheels, shiny leather seats where the light is reflecting really seriously, you know there's a bunch of body oils and dirt that's causing that reflection to happen. And what we want to see is kind of measure the cleaning power of the Ninja Scrub Brush is how quickly can we remove that hyper reflection from the leather seat, from the door panel, and from the steering wheel specifically. Now I'm going to clean each one of these materials so you guys can quickly see the before and after, which is the most exciting part, before I give you an exact breakdown of what I think of these two products. When I'm starting with the leather seat, I'm spraying my P&S Interior Express Cleaner diluted about 5 to 10 to 1, somewhere in that range, on the applicator pad first, on the nylon bristle side, and then I'm applying it and I'm being very, very gentle. One of the things to note is that you can't really not be gentle with this scrub pad because it's got this foam spongy interface, the nylon bristles are super soft, and then this microfiber on the other side. So no matter how hard you push, you're not going to like dig into the leather. It's just not possible. It's kind of like trying to dig into the leather with a microfiber towel. That does stand in contrast to the non-abrasive scrub pad in that if I wanted to destroy the leather, I could push down hard enough with that non-abrasive scrub pad. It's not going to happen with this particular scrub brush. Now, after I finish the top half, I'm moving kind of to the middle area of the seat, and I'm avoiding both of the sides on purpose because after I finish with the middle, I want to bring you guys in and show you what that entire middle area of the seat looks like. Number one, first thing to note, the reflection on the light is considerably died down. What that tells me is that it is considerably cleaner. You can also, of course, see the dirt that came off onto the scrub brush, but I want to compare the two sides of the leather seat with the middle of the leather seat. The middle is what was cleaned, the sides are what was not cleaned. You can see the sides still have that really hyper reflective kind of slick, shiny material, and then in the middle, you've got that matte black appearance. The matte black appearance is what we're looking for. That's the first indication that this did a really good job cleaning very quickly. And number two, I'm looking inside of the texture, kind of granular pieces of the leather seat where all of that dirt starts to accrue and it starts to make things look kind of white or not quite as black because you get a bunch of crumbs and nastiness inside of those textured grooves. And unless you can remove those, you're not going to get that full black appearance back. One of the great things about the nylon bristle side is that there are so many bristles and they are so fine that when you scrub it, you're naturally getting into those textured pieces of the leather. That is not happening when you're using the non-abrasive scrub pad, and it is one of those drawbacks because often I'll use the non-abrasive scrub pad and then I'll kind of follow up with a quick detail brush to get in those tiny little areas. Now, moving to the door panels, and the thing that I want to highlight here is not that there's some crazy unique cleaning technique or there's some sort of crazy dilution or product that I'm using. The thing that I want to highlight more than anything else is, generally speaking, when I'm cleaning door panels, one of the things that I'm thinking is, man, I really got to kind of scrub pretty hard with my non-abrasive scrub pad because people are always touching the door handle, right? It's an area that always gets touched. The bottom area always gets liquids get spilled on it and it gets kicked with your feet, and you're always having to scrub. A lot of times I'll use a magic eraser here too. What I've learned is that often those areas get very damaged and it's actually really easy to clean the surface level dirt off of it, and what you're left over with, even if you scrub all day long, you're not actually going to get it fixed, right? Because it's a damage issue, it's a plastic discoloration issue, it's a scuff issue that's not even going to be fixed with a magic eraser. Well, the beauty about this Ninja scrub pad is that because that's the case with door panels and there's so many different materials, I can take this entire scrub pad to the entire door panel. I'm not switching to use any other tool whatsoever. I will often switch in between my detailing brushes and my non-abrasive scrub pad for the door panels, and you didn't have to do that with this particular thing because it's safe on every one of these materials. There's clear coated pieces, there's really smooth like coated plastic around the window button on BMW, Mercedes, use Audis like this that's really easy to scratch with a non-abrasive scrub pad, and I never use it on that. And so this was just kind of easy because I could do it all in one. Like I said, the thing I want to highlight here is the ease of using one thing rather than two things, because the actual cleaning of a door panel is really straightforward, and you can see in the after result here that the door panel really looks fantastic. The other thing I would say is that it's a really controlled thing to use because I can conform it and bend it in all these different ways. A non-abrasive scrub pad is not like that. And it sounds kind of silly maybe to say that, but if you use a non-abrasive scrub pad, you know it's actually kind of frustrating because it's hard to get around areas and stick it in a corner or something like that. Because this is made out of fabric, it's really easy to conform to anything I need to kind of reach into. And then finally, I'm using it on the steering wheel, and the primary thing I want to highlight here is that steering wheels are difficult to clean with a non-abrasive scrub pad. Okay, it's one of the areas of detailing I really don't like. I will often take the non-abrasive scrub pad sort of to the main area of the steering wheel, then I take a toothbrush to the kind of inner parts where the leather is sewn together, and then I'll wipe it off and do that again and again and again. And a steering wheel is actually one of those areas, ironically, that takes me a little bit more time than other areas of the interior. The first thing I noticed using the nylon bristle brush pad on this Ninja scrub brush was that I only had to use one single thing, and it was really easy. Because this is fabric and it's like basically microfiber and just nylon bristles, I can bend it in all these different ways. I can wrap it around the steering wheel completely and cover the whole thing, go back and forth. The nylon bristles are getting into that little leather sewn area. On the other side, they're cleaning just the basic kind of main part of the steering wheel. And I came in twice to see what kind of results I really could get. So I did one pass on the bottom half and then another pass on the bottom half. And the thing that I want you guys to see in the before and after here is that the top half has that really obvious oil slick appearance that you saw on the leather seat. The bottom half does not. You've restored it back to that original matte black appearance. The other thing I want to highlight here is that steering wheels get damaged more often than other areas because they're the area of the car that's touched every single time the car is driven. That means the dirt is sitting on that area more than really any other part of the car, maybe with exception of the carpets. When you are cleaning a steering wheel aggressively, which you often have to do, you can also start to pull off the coloring and the leather from the steering wheel really easily because the oils from people's hands have been sitting there and it breaks down the material. This pulled off all the dirt and it did not at all hurt the steering wheel. And I know I'm using P&S Interior Express Cleaner, which is an extremely safe cleaner, but my point is I can come in twice and I'm not even thinking about this particular material damaging any part of the steering wheel. Got me really fantastic results, quicker than a non-abrasive scrub pad, and it did not damage anything and I wasn't worried about it at all. So this is a really simple tool. Many of you are probably aware of it, but what is my conclusion using it a few times at this point? Number one, I'm not saying that it's going to replace my non-abrasive scrub pad, but here's some things I noticed. First thing is first, when you're using this or a non-abrasive scrub pad like this, you often have to rinse it in a bucket because you're pulling off so much dirt. On the non-abrasive scrub pad, it's going to sit on the surface. Everything you pull off from the interior sits on the surface. There's no interface for it to absorb into. I did not have to rinse this quite as often because the dirt was sitting on the surface. Because you've got that foam interface or this like ability to absorb, I was able to accomplish things and get more done with this rather than this because, again, it kind of absorbs things into it and I don't have to rinse it off the surface constantly. The second thing I would say about the absorption of this material is that I didn't have to use quite as much chemical. I don't know if you noticed on the door panels, I didn't spray every part of the door panel, and often if I'm using a non-abrasive scrub pad, the only way to fully clean a leather seat or the only way to fully clean a door panel is to put chemical on basically every area because this is not going to spread chemical around well. The second you touch this on any area you're working on, it doesn't spread the chemical around a bunch. It kind of keeps it focused in one single area, and you have to use more chemical if you're gonna address other areas. That was not true at all with this. I was able to basically spray a little bit of chemical on this and then spray a little bit of chemical on one area of the door panel, and that was enough chemical to use this on every single area of the door panel. So that's a big win. Like I said, one of the primary differentiators is that this can be used on every single material safely, and I'm not even thinking about it. This, not necessarily. I would say definitively, this is now the tool I'm going to use for every steering wheel in the future because it just actually saves me a ton of time. This takes way too long on a steering wheel. This makes way more sense. I cannot confirm or deny this yet, but one of the things I'm thinking about, and I gotta use this particular scrub pad more to say, is I would imagine that this does not wear down quite as quickly as this. I buy these in 3-packs from Amazon. They're basically like $2.99 for a 3-pack. Extremely inexpensive, but they do wear down, and what you'll see over time is that they become less and less thick, or they thin out the more you use it, and at some point you're using the non-abrasive scrub pad and you're basically not getting any results in your cleaning, and then it dawns on you, oh, I need to switch this out and use another one. My hunch would say that this does not wear down as quickly, and when it does wear down, it becomes really obvious because you can probably see the nylon bristles worn down and start to see more of the foam interface, or start to see them kind of sparsed out or spread out, and that would be an indication to replace it. The final thing that I want to highlight here is that this is far easier to conform and bend to get into really any area you want to get into, which is why I say it's definitely going to be the thing that I use for steering wheels from now on. This is definitely much harder to get into small areas. That being said, I do think if you are dealing with something like something hardened or like some sort of coke or spill or sugary substance that kind of hardens on the side of a door panel, I would still probably reach for this, but I want to know in the comments below, for those of you who have used the Ninja Scrub Brush, do you use it? How often do you use it? What do you like and what do you not like specifically specifically about this product. Now, the biggest differentiator of all is that a 3-pack of these Ninja scrub brushes on average comes in around $15, maybe a little bit less depending on where you buy it from. The non-abrasive scrub pads for a 3-pack come in at about $2.99, making them about $1 a piece. So from a cost perspective, it depends on what you're trying to do. I think there is no doubt both of these are going to have a place in my detailing world moving forward. The question is, am I gonna major on those, or am I gonna continue to major on the non-abrasive scrub pad? I'm not sure yet, but I wanna know what you guys think in the comments of what you do and do not like about both of these products. Guys, if you want a full list of all of the tools and products I suggest for any pro detailer, I've got a free resource in the YouTube description box below called the Pro Detailing Toolbox. As always, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. And from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, remember, a great detailer is always learning, and I will see you in the next video.